No matter what the price tag, buying the home that's right for you is one of the most important decisions you can make. You want to be informed, so where do you begin? To help you, each week our show features Ask the Expert. To get your question answered by a professional realtor, go to our website at charlestonrealestatenews.com and click the Ask the Expert button. This week's Ask the Expert question has to do with buyer's agency. The viewer writes, I'm a first-time home buyer, and I've been told that hiring a buyer's agent to help me buy real estate is 100% free. Is this true? And if so, how do I choose the agent that's right for me? So we took that question to Kathy Waddell, broker in charge at Prudential Carolina Real Estate's Somerville Main Street office. Here's what she had to say.
That's a great question. The truth of the matter is, most of the time it is free for the buyer. We have a system called the multiple listing system where all of the member companies, and just about every company in the Tri-County area is a member of the multiple listing service. All of those listings go directly into that composite, if you will. And when that property is listed, the seller agrees that he is going to pay a fee for an agent to sell his home. The listing agent then offers it out in the multiple listing service, and he offers what's called a co-op commission, which means that when the buyer's agent brings the buyer to the table, the seller is paying that commission. Now, the truth of the matter is there are a few circumstances where the buyer will be asked to pay the commission. Just as the seller has a contractual arrangement with the agent to sell his home, the buyer also has a contractual agreement with his representation. And in that, it clearly says that the agent will first seek compensation from the seller, but should that compensation not be there, then he will look to the buyer for that compensation. Now, because this is a contractual arrangement, the good news is that that's signed before you ever go out looking for houses, so it's not like you're going to have this sprung on you without notice. Contracts are for the purpose of both parties having a meeting of the mind, and so as with any contract, there are negotiations to be had. But again, in the event that the seller is not offering the compensation, the buyer would be asked, because of course he's getting great service from his agent. They're doing an enormous amount of work for them, not to mention, searching for properties, showing them the properties, but once it goes under contract, negotiations and making sure that government required forms are all in order, inspections, and just the many myriad of details that go along. And so certainly a buyer would want to know that his agent were going to be compensated for the job he did. Now, your second part of the question was, how do I find a good agent? Asking family and friends if they've had a really good experience is certainly a great way, that good old word of mouth referral. But even then, it's usually a good idea to interview at least a couple of agents, because this is a very personal matter. Buying a home is just a huge experience, and you want to make sure that the person you're working with really understands you, that y'all really have some rapport built, and that you know that they're looking after your best interest. So certainly interviewing a couple of people, looking for a market leader. Who sells the most homes in the Tri-County area? That's probably a good indication that they're doing a good job for their clients. So that's one way to go about looking for an agent.
Thanks for the question. And remember, if you want to ask the expert, you can go onto our website now at charlestonrealestatenews.com and post your question online. Someone will give you an answer within 24 hours. Or if you'd like to speak with a professional realtor, you can call 843-864-3432. Each week, we'll feature one of your questions right here on Charleston Real Estate News.